So, are we facing a summer of travel chaos? We're now joined by Julia Lowe Bouie-Said, Chief Executive of Advantage Travel Partnership, an independent group of travel agents. Great to have you on the show, Julia. I mean, it's just more bad news, isn't it? First of all, it was the airports. Now it's the ferries. What next?
Well, just hearing you outline it there makes me extremely depressed. I mean, the only thing I can say with confidence is the vast majority of people will be able to travel this summer. They will be able to get away. There are bottlenecks and there are disruptions that we've seen quite clearly that have taken place, but the vast majority of people will be able to get away on their travels.
In terms of what went on in Dover, they're bracing themselves, as I understand, for more disruption on weekends to come. And there seems to be a backlog of people wanting to get away. The normal holiday handover time is the weekend. I mean, do you think anybody planning to travel across the Channel and is booked for a weekend needs to really start thinking about preparing for that journey well in advance and pricing in a huge old wait?
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because the last thing you want to do when you've waited so long to travel is to feel even more anxious, not knowing whether you're going to be leaving on time. But I think the best thing to do, we know there's a pent-up demand. We know there are an awful lot more people travelling now. The best thing to do is to be prepared. I think if you're prepared for a delay, that's the best advice that I think any of us can give. Make sure you've got water, food in the car if you're travelling by ferry, and also the worst thing also is having kids that are bored. So have lots of entertainment for the kids as much as you can in the car. Be prepared, and then hopefully the delays won't be as bad as you're anticipating.
And what about the airports? Of course, we've seen, those sort of Jenga towers of suitcases where there are no baggage handlers on shift and queues snaking out of airport terminals. Is the situation getting a bit better there, or is that just building up to yet another pressure point again?
No, it's definitely getting better. And again, as I say, most people are able to travel on their flights. Most cases are arriving on time. There have been bottlenecks and issues at really peak periods of time. But we are seeing that starting to ease. And there's a couple of measures that have been put in place to really help that. There have been caps on flights, so that reduces the number of flights that airlines can operate. And that's enabled them to make sure it builds resilience in the system and enables them to guarantee almost that those flights that are on schedule will depart on time. So there is some slack being taken, there is some capacity being taken out that will help alleviate any of those pressure points we've seen.
Julia, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a little bit more detail about what to expect this summer. Julie Lowe Bouie-Said there, who's the Chief Executive Officer of Advantage Travel Partnership.